I'm recording now, so we can start whenever.
You're recording?
I was like
thinking now.
I thought you were just like giving us a little like background info, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this thing, and then you started reading the question, and I was like, wait, wait.
Goose is trying to get us hyped up.
Okay, no, we're good. We got this.
Okay. Matt Foster 417 asks, what do you think was the best part of Tears of the Kingdom, and also the biggest miss? So we're gonna say the best thing, and also the worst thing, I guess. The best and the worst of Tears of the Kingdom. Actually, I'll make mine two sides of the same coin. My best, I will say, and I talked about it a lot, was just kind of, I enjoyed re-exploring the same world. Just the way I experienced the world and did the side quests and kind of combed over, particularly the previous region that was in the previous game, like the main surface level, talking to all the people, doing all the quests, taking Koroks from point A. I'm kind of just describing the whole game, but basically, like, just it's the same thing that I honestly loved about Breath of the Wild, which was just kind of combing the world. The core gameplay is what feels so good, and I think that's still my favorite part about Tears of the Kingdom, just on another level, adding in like the new mechanics of the building and stuff like that. So exploring the surface world and meeting people, that was probably my favorite part.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that because you kind of mentioned it. My favorite part is just the new mechanics, the new stuff they added in. Because Breath of the Wild they put so much effort into like a sick engine with excellent physics. Like that is a perfect template that they built for just an awesome gaming experience. And then they just completely like broke the wheels off and were like, no, you can just fly anywhere. You can build hover bikes. You can use Ultra Hand. You can phase up through caves and mountains once you're done in a cave. You can, all the new stuff that they added ability-wise just took that blueprint from Breath of the Wild and just kind of, cranked it up to 11 for me.
Yeah, I think that makes for like a good sequel is when like it takes this kind of mechanics and brings them to another, like, I guess honestly it feels like it takes Breath of the Wild's mechanics to like it's a logical endpoint, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like an extreme in a way. Like you saw people building like crazy flying machines in Breath of the Wild, like just of their own ingenuity, and they said, why don't we double down?
And they were like, all right, let's do it. And Fuse too. Fuse, just all the new stuff. Very cool.
I'm realizing that some of those now that we've had people kind of settling on it and talking about Breath of the Wild comparatively, and talking to some people who like Breath of the Wild more, I think it really hinges on, for a lot of people, I think, whether or not they liked the new abilities. Because I've seen different arguments about like which game's better that I agree and disagree with on both sides. But one I can really, even though I like Tears of the Kingdom more, I can understand when people are like, I like Breath of the Wild more, is when they start to talk about fusing like your weapons and building things. And I'm like, I can see that, like, if you didn't like
if it doesn't connect with you, then it's not.
Yeah, if you're predisposed to not enjoy putting things together and building them, you're not going to enjoy that aspect of the game. There's nothing you can do about that.
I was a Lego and Bionicle kid, so that's
me too. Yeah,
I love that stuff.
And Kinects. I played with Kinects.
Yes, too. And Kinects too.
Like, come on,
for sure. Yeah,
I think a lot of people would maybe disagree with me here, but I don't exactly want to say the story was my absolute favorite part of the game, but I think it's more so just the way the world felt evolved from Breath of the Wild. Like, it felt so naturally progressed. Yeah, it's been a certain amount of years, 6 or so years, maybe, we don't fully know. And like, you get to see like kind of the fruits of your labor from Breath of the Wild. You get to see like the school in Hateno, which is like, that was a big thing for me when you discover that Zelda started a school, started teaching, and then you get to become a teacher at the school, and what they call you, like Professor Link or something like that. It's like, it's cute. And I just really love the NPCs, the characters. There's so much that they did to make random side characters that you met, like walking down the path in Breath of the Wild, be an important character in Tears of the Kingdom. Like the cohesiveness there was really cool. I agree with some people saying that like it's weird that a lot of characters don't remember you, like Bolson and stuff like that. But in my headcanon is like, oh, there was a big time shift, so maybe not everything you did in Breath of the Wild actually happened? Question mark? So maybe you never actually met those people. Maybe Terrytown built itself without you. I don't know. Like I don't fully get it. But I do love the characters and that story aspect of it a lot, because I found so much joy in going and seeing Hudson and Ronson again in Terrytown, and like seeing what they've done since then, and just sort of like following up on your previous experience in this version of Hyrule. I loved that a lot.
I think a deep dive needs to be done someday on like where someone in depth analyzes the characters that do and don't remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I personally didn't. I had the experience of it all feeling like natural to me. Like everyone, I had more people honestly remembering me than I remembered.
Yeah.
So
exact same. I had so many NPCs like, oh, Link, and I'm like, hey, buddy, what's going on?
And
which to me felt more natural, honestly.
Well, yeah, because
they're gonna remember you.
They could have also, you could have had no interaction with them in your playthrough of Breath of the Wild, but they interacted in those 6 years in between the end of that game and the beginning of this one. We don't fully know what happened in those 6 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously it's sort of a suspend of disbelief, but it's like, it's a video game about people with the traveling in time and dragons, and like, you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit, you know?
No, but like for me, it all felt normal. Like,
yeah,
like,
I see. That's where I
don't remember everyone I meet, and I feel like the people, I don't know. We should do a video someday where we talk about, we find the key characters and be like, should they remember Link? Because I think the people who really should do. Yeah, this is a future video
I think the
idea.
biggest one is Bolson. Like that's
he's
the
a busy
biggest
guy. Bolson's a busy guy. I don't feel bad about that.
He's got maybe some like memory loss issues. We don't know. Maybe
how many things do you think he's built though? You know, like
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
This
He's
is
just over here like
in rebuilding. He's the biggest real estate tycoon in the kingdom. He's not going to remember everyone he built a house for.
He's a contractor, you know.
He's like
going
in love with Link, though. So, like, let's be real here. I don't know.
I think he's just a flirty guy.
A group project with in a random class in college 6 years ago.
He just had it was a fling.
All we did was build an entire settlement.
Well, wait, Hudson remembers you,
yeah,
Hudson remembers you. But Bolson doesn't, which is
that makes sense though, because you like helped him
build a town with Hudson.
Bolson's like transactional.
Was Hudson's thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but overall, the characters, you know, Majora's Mask will always be my favorite Zelda game because of the NPCs, because of the characters that you get to meet and their stories that they tell. So being able to see that very in depth with hundreds of NPCs in this game. Very cool. I love that.
One other thing I wanted to say that along with your suspension of disbelief thing too, I can't remember if this was the particular element about the game, but it just makes me think. I agree with you. Like, I think like in video games, like we accept a lot of things are like an abstraction. It's not like one-to-one real life. So we can believe a place like Goron City in any Zelda game is a city, even though if you count up the residents, like 12 people live there. Yeah. Now, do 12 people constitute a city? No, but we understand that it's a video game. And
when did they get the township for Goron City? Because that up.
Yeah.
This seems more like an unincorporated township to me. I don't know. There's no village hall, let alone a city hall. So like, how am I supposed to believe that this is a
I
city?
wonder how their elections are held.
Darunia, how did he become chief of the Gorons?
What about your best thing?
I think kind of the same line of the evolution from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. I really loved getting to re-explore a lot of the areas I had been to in Breath of the Wild. I remember when I first started playing, I immediately just wanted to go everywhere I had been before and be like, what's changed?
Yeah.
What's going on everywhere? What are all the characters I met up to now? I was really excited to see everything that happened, more so than like exploring some of the new areas.
Yeah. There's not really a Zelda game like this where like you're really like one-to-one following up with people from the last game, like on this level. It's kind of cool. I think
it's almost like, sometimes I finish a game and I want to go see what everyone's up to after the game is over.
Yeah.
And you kind of get to do that here, but you also have a new story and new gameplay, new stuff going on.
New stuff.
Yeah.
AKA glorified DLC. My biggest miss.
Wow.
Whoa.